So here we are at the Questers Theatre for Off the Chest. Got jodY in the building. Hey, yeah, I thought you'd be here. It's Ealing, isn't it? So it's easy to get to. And look like this is the, I want to say bad boys. the Asian white bad boys.
The Asian. White chocolate.
Vanilla extract. Yeah, that would be a sick name for a group duo. Chip vanilla extract. Yeah.
I am saying nothing.
Remember the sheepy girls? Vanilla extract.
Oh yeah. With a hint of cardamom.
You're the ginger, I'm the cardamom, that's what he's saying.
Oh.
Tamarick. Tamarick we got because of the orange.
Turmeric.
This is Off the Chest Ealing Broadway, aka Questers Theatre. I'm Ifto and this is Ella. Give it up for yourselves!
Thank you so much for coming all the way down to Ealing, guys. Or if you're already in Ealing, thank you for coming down the road. Ealing's quite a small place. Do we have some people from Ealing in the building? We do. Have we got any people from West London in the building? Woohoo! Got any people from East? Oh, that's not like us. Oh, we got one person on stage right next to me. So Ifto and I are off the chest. We first met in a tiny little cafe doing a little open mic night in East London, and now we are standing in front of you doing Off the Chest in West London and across the city. So thank you so much for coming to join us tonight, and we've got a special treat for you later because it's Ramadan, so we'll be giving some pizzas out in the interval. So yeah.
Let's hear it one more time for this side of the room. 3, 2, 1. Give me a hell yeah! Hey!
Okay, and can I get it from this side of the room? And come on, we've not got much to compete with here. You can do better than that. 3, 2, 1. Hell yeah! Oh, that was good. Okay, one more time for luck. 3, 2, 1. Hell yeah! Can we please welcome to the stage the amazing Sana?
You accuse me in bright light. You make me feel as though I'm the beast that was your best friend for 4 years, the beast that was always by your side, lending my ear wide and clear. You have shunned me like I'm Frankenstein's creature, shunned from humankind. Where is the understanding and kindness? Where is the holding hands of welcome? I was once your friend and now no more, alienating the world, and humankind lost its compassion and empathy. If the love was real, you would have took me under your wing and sheltered me. Yet I was ambushed by your words of spirals that caused hurt and enmity. You betrayed me. All the trust there was inside of me has broken into pieces, shattered glass. You betrayed me. 4 years of knowing me, 4 years of lies and trickery. You deceived me and splattered your words of hate and lies in my ears, electrifying my phone. The worst of all, I believed you. I took your lies onto me, creating disturbance in my brain. I believed your spiteful words about me. I took it into my heart and mind. I'm used to taking your words as truth, and even in this abuse, I took it as truth. It's my right to feel angry. It's my understanding that I was abused and alienated like Victor Frankenstein's creature, marginalized from respect and understanding, attacked viciously. Look at what you've done to me. Yes, look what you've done to me. Rage, rage, rage is what is in me. Need to get this anger and hurt off my chest, to relax my heart, to comfort my head. You're not my priority, me thinking of the pain you caused me. I was attacked by your fire-piercing words. My priority is to be calm and look after my health and me. You're not in my radar. Need to get this anger and hurt off my chest, to relax my heart, to comfort my head. Thank you.
Prompt start, Soho. Well groomed. Self-care. Words exchanged over silk in a cup. Builder's brew. Stimulant, empathy, kindness. Walk away lighter, weight shed, heart singing in perfect key. Middle C found, blindfolded. Instincts flow freely when facades are shed, like snakeskins decaying almost instantly. The past no longer exists. Future crafted lovingly in the present, gifting myself light passage. Spirit, now fuel efficient, ULEZ compliant in this world and the next. Give praise, bear witness, and give thanks. Say, mashallah. Say, alhamdulillah. Say, subhanallah. Smile. Brownie points for laughing with your whole body. Wherever you pass through, please, please, please leave thick residues of love. Thank you.
In the Tesco biscuit aisle, my brother says, I'm starving myself to keep my lover. I notice the custard creams are all gone. The shelf tries to hide in between colourful packaging and different shapes and sizes, but its hollowness sticks out like a fracture. It's been a month since he smiled at me, played a video game without a headache, held a toothbrush as a toothbrush and not an instrument to antagonize his dry throat, used a toilet as a toilet and not befriend it with the song of his gut on the weeknight. All this for some affection. So stupid. So, his lover's favorite snack are digestives. The aisle is full of different varieties of them. His blue eyes appear on the McVitie's packet. During the car journey home, I swallow two in the hope that my stomach will forgive me. I wish boys malnourish themselves for love, he says, puffing on his breakfast cigarette. And this one is called Elvis Has Left the Building. Or in other words, waiting in vain generates a planet of dust rioting in my lungs. My heart keeps breaking in the same place, Hammersmith Bridge. The key to the shackles I put myself in is under the roof of my tongue. Sometimes his love and hate are two sides of the dull same coin. What use is a bag of frozen peas to me now if I haven't cried yet? His ice blue eyes fade tenderly, quietly into the blue moon. Memories shouldn't change just because I want a happy ending. Thank you.
Groove is in the heart. I had nothing to compare it to. She was rhythm, and rhythm is a dancer without a partner. Frolicking like a flame, her hair flickering, whipping tongues of tresses swaying, skipping along her dress as she addresses the company of men being tested. Men, ever trying to put her luster to rest within their heads, visions of her in their beds, the two of them in the kitchen raising toasts and having herself spread as she melts. We were our alter egos without alterations. The spark beneath me put a fire in my step while looking for my reflection in her. We were palpable, all heat, no flames, apart from her hair. My heart of wax cried, in my heart aflame. Lashed tears were stalactites of hanging daggers that dangled above the pit of my stomach, looking over at my guts that hadn't yet shown themselves. Her emerald eyes were never green with envy, even when she saw red. Her green flashed and she was aglow with go. Her allure was like tendrils keeping the brave at the radius close. A fiery redhead with the features of a Kate Mara or Isla Fisher. Do we not see the value in pretty pictures? She's a unicorn to be looked at, but don't unicorns grant wishes? Her rhythm never had a misstep. If there was a regret, it would be kept a Victoria's secret. The dress, sleeveless, the hem like a pulled theatre curtain. Armed with the charm to both men and women, she was gracious on their arm. A man-made gift to women, a charm bracelet. Rhythm never came with the blues. Dressed to kill, me and my temptress in a red dress, heeled in blue suede shoes. Dancing with the devil, her proximity was divinity. And I, with the back of my hand and thumb, ran along her clavicle, traced back to her left shoulder while in hold, my hand below her shoulder blade, pulling along the back of her dress that margins of décolletage. My waiting angel, not knowing that I found where her grace lies, in the spotlight, radiant and white hot, encompassing our haloed microcosm. No strings attached, informal, no shirt, no ties, just our bodies entwined. Her waistline at one with my baseline. Our lips kiss, interlocked like our fingers engaged in slow dance, folded hand in half prayer. Her kisses were French, her passion Italian. The borrowed feelings iconic lovers had lent, volatile and intense with the swiftness of stallions. All that was missing was magnolia in her hair and a cliche of flowers. Cantarella, my poison companion, what witchcraft is this? There's magic in her fingertips. Her grip at the nape of my neck, I was collared in bliss. To the outside, a capricious twist, armoured by a more hers in Christian Dior, but I see pockets of it. Love is blind, that's why it seems to have never found you in time. It robs you of it, your mind and anything solid. She speaks, I too, though our words are only lightly touching, unaware that us paired has others scared, herself brushing upon my rough skin. And we continued into the dark, purposeful night, dancing a skyline, moving in semicircles, orbiting and sailing, undertaking ochos and salidas in space, harboring only two corporeal bodies, sandwiching us fleetingly in time. Rhythm. Thank you.
Yeah! This poem is just called An Ode to Nothingness. In the style of a sloth wrapped around a tree, I don't know if I will move for hours. There's always so much to be done, isn't there? The washing bin is begging to be freed, piles of drafts, ketchup on the sheets. Last night it was mottled throats, singing to the high note, something by Britney. We dove limbs first into each other's pupils. My best friend goes back to her baby. And I go back to waiting for my Morleys. It's really serious business, guys. Yes, I want the world. It's high budget set designs, it's awards, it's romance. Yes, I want the world. I see it each morning, shining from my palm. Yes, I wake at the alarm, count the hours, check the lists. Some days I want to consume it, an all-you-can-eat buffet. Today, it's a high-achieving school, and I'm behind the bins, smoking rollies during maths. My mother's friends say I'm doing so well. I can't stop thinking about Beyonce, who has probably never spent a full day in bed, and how all I really want to do is buy a £6 bottle of wine and have someone to laugh beside in the nectar of the night. Thank you very much.
Harsh and gloom, dark tomb, cocoon, classroom. Doom loomed, wounds bloomed. My eyes consumed swoons of typhoon tears in year 6. The year is 2002. At 11 years of age, I felt afraid and bemused. dazed and confused, mentally enslaved and abused, due to the school system's crippling curriculum. My teachers refused to listen, they just dismissed and became distant vixens when my dyslexic symptoms victimized me throughout Key Stage 3. All I learned was key stages of self-hatred as letters played games with mimicry. B's mirrored D's, G's resembled P's, and C's copied E's as whiteboard words would weave around when I drowned in a sea of sentences. Yeah. Verbs and nouns resembled menaces. Tension hit my hand and wrist due to awkward pencil grip. My mental shift to terror whenever grammatical errors severed my confidence in two. Paragraphs would damage my heart, easily confused by my left and right. Numbers spoke volumes of plight, incapable to grasp the simplest of mathematical tasks. Eyesight blurred, bright lights hurt from 9th, 8th and 3rd. Story time! Not for me. Sat at the back of classroom, catch-up work, stop and start when reading, stuck in the mud seating, despised public speaking, self-esteem fleeting, dwelling on spelling, grades never excelling, IQ beaten, black and blue. Amazing how a place that's supposed to educate made me feel like a fool, ridiculed and damned, especially when it came to the end of year exams as I stand in single file. My peers have nothing to fear, but in the air I sense the essence of something vile. Rotten has blossomed to plague, sickening tickening of clocks echo away. Corridors morph, thoughts distort, feeling paler than a corpse trapped in an overthinking cage. Emotions push to their brink as my soul begins to sink. They say boys don't cry, so I man up instead of shrink. But I feel a curse emerge as I begin to hurt. A choking sensation awakens underneath my fragile frame. Anxiety violently explores my brain, walking like I'm shackled in chains. With every step, my breath is slain, ringing in the ears. Severe, thunderous numbness, sears, hot blushes, cold chills, chest pains, trembling limbs, sweat trickling, popping of veins, heart beating faster than a speeding train. I take a seat to sip my saps, cloudy mindset. Here comes the rain, tears dripping, internally maimed. English, science, maths, stupid, pathetic. I think I'm going to collapse. Question 1, what's the answer to that?
Hey, yo, jodY, relax.
jodY, leave! You're disrupting everybody! So I fled this scene in screams of silence. All I needed was some reassurance or guidance, but my teachers chose to be defiant. Locked in a noiseless toilet so no one can hear me crying. Over the horizon, I see no lights rising. Pre-teen is too young to start self-inflicting violence, but I hate the skin I live in. So I start slicing by scratching my arms, 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 until the bloody wounds resemble Roman numerals. Looking at the boy in the mirror like I want to ruin you, slewing all my mind's oozing cruel manners of pain. Guess what the first question was? Name. jodY, why me? Thank you.
It's called This Is for the Generation. This is for the generation whose loyalties were split by 10+ types of social media sites. Filtered photos, worth defined by counted likes, hunting love and Tinder swipes. The whole world at our fingertips in a series of taps and clicks, and only from behind the isolation of a closed bedroom door. This is for the generation who saw mental health statistics soar. Depression becoming a social norm as the internet turned self-harm into a craze for lost, alone young girls who'd learned to graze their skin and starve. Avoid and throw up food that we now didn't want, perhaps because there was simply so much of it. The choice consumerism born. Boys' sexuality deformed by porn. This is for the generation that innocently numbed itself with THC so far removed from its natural state, hydroponic skunk that rotted brains into paranoid and schizophrenic wrecks, and it was such a shame, because all we wanted was to be creative and connect. This is for the generation cocaine train wrecked, shouting at each other in overpriced London clubs about which dickhead politician to elect without listening. Pupils glistening, mouths moving too quickly, ears shut, arguing themselves into ruts, pouring stimulants and depressants into bodies still marked by teenage cuts, drinking to stop thinking. This is for the generation scared of diversity sinking into Islamophobic hate and terror slicing nations. scared of intellect being pulled apart by a decreased capacity for concentration, scared of losing art because of there being nothing left to create, still hooked on old songs shown to us by our parents, the generation of punk and post-modernity that we once feared we could never shock. How wrong we were when comfort disappeared. This is for the generation whiling away time online. I'm ready to head into a world in which everything is oversubscribed. You've never had to think about how to survive, so lose the will and drive, and instead go looking for ourselves, which we've been told are out there somewhere but fail to find. Scanning for travel and where to spend money next, tasked with sculpting value through a mist of secularity, misled, let down by false ideas of sex, overwhelmed to decide where choice saps away clarity, fingers closing on air. But there is a whisper calling for those who still dare to hope, who close laptops for the chance to touch, to hug, to speak face to face, letting love take the place of any drug. This is for me, for you, and for the power that we've been given to fight newspaper headlines with tiny acts of care, showing that friendship is more important than religion. And maybe if we write and love and create hard enough, we'll see changes. Smiles intoned between lips of different skin tones to strangers, schools swapping lists of arbitrary rules for education about life, relationships, how to face Monday mornings. This is for stars in eyes that will not go out with the night and desires that won't die. The willingness and urge to try, to sit and to listen, or to stand and make words to scream, to express, and perhaps through this mess, who knows, a generation of dreamers could still emerge. Thank you.
Shame at being accused, reduction for being used, worthlessness from the ignorant crew that heart-wrenched, humiliation dumped in my garden, phased through my fence. It's all with purpose, that's clear to me. But only for Krishna can I truly see. Remembering my power, I'm bound to the divine. I ensured it in the last life. Transcendence is mine. I remembered all wrong. The purpose is to dismember, detach from the lies. Mayavad covered my eyes. As we go in circles, you'll simply descend. Hellish lifetimes wait around the horizon. Hey, look out for the bend. Okay. You appear and disappear and waste what's between. I was lying to myself. Good excuse. You'll be amongst the first when we're weaned. And now you come to me, matter's most enigmatic mystery. How does he do it? Where does it come from? Powers unknown, effects worthy of a throne, incomprehensible experience. Our differences are stark. Jiva spark, I obliterate the dark. All right. I am cleansed and empowered, spared, not devoured. Spared implies slavery, yet here I am holding the rod. I'm just human, no profane claims to be God. Stop humping my shoe. To me, you're all rabid dogs. Ugh. Now, if you still don't get it, I'll make it clearer for those at the back. You have nothing on my mind. My soul is stacked. I hit it out the park before you even picked up the bat. Where's you at? Caught in the trap. 108 orders of magnitude apart. If you continue in your ways, you'll be lucky to find yourself as a rat. Karma, Hare Krishna.
Hey! So this is called The Day I Realised I Was Snow White. Once upon a time, I bit into an apple, and everything uncomfortably tingled and crackled. My lips puffed, to a level of a cart or Botox enthusiast would be proud of, and my tongue felt like it had just licked a hedgehog. Which sounds cathartic in a wanky millennial type of way, but I wouldn't recommend. Now, listeners, please lend me your ears to bend, because I will begin by taking us back to the other day, where for some idiotic reason I decided to ignore my past and without delay tucked in fast to a golden delicious. And for a few minutes, the juice from the familiar taste of a Granny Smith's meandered through my saliva, my fat, happy face just chomping back at me in the wing mirror. Then, just after I thought these very words, I'm not allergic anymore. Everything is good. Everything is fine. Everything. This apple is divine. I thought my insides were just working hard to digest, when suddenly some concerning noises rippled from my stomach and then through my chest. A wave of sweaty regret filled my palms, all clammy and wet. I grasped a nearby paper bag into my now damp, sad Skoda driving hands. I breathe through my nose and out of my mouth, and I try not to think about what's going on down south. Oh shit. This is it. I'm going to be fucking sick. Swerving into the nearest lay-by, I swung open the door to avoid my vommy thighs and chundered green apple all over the tarmac. Pause, breathe, close door, wipe sleeve, glance up, embarrassing heave, and through the watering eyes, I look up to find the image of two overweight men gawking through the window of their truck in total disgust. I hadn't felt this much shame since I held hungover shots from the night before from behind the seat of my mother-in-law. It's a true story, just a different day. Back to my route home on Thursday, just as I was about to give up, I saw a shady-looking essay garage with an open shop. So, as if having just survived the quest through the Sahara Desert, I stumbled awkwardly, exhausted, through the fridge to the fridge. I grabbed a blue Powerade, £2.55, what a fucking rip. I dramatically cowered back to the car and sipped slowly, feeling sorry for myself as I doused my inflated face with energy drink. I sat and had a long, dramatic and emotional think, and suddenly something amazing occurred to me. I just had my calling from Walt Disney. Here I am, having eaten a forbidden fruit whilst galloping home from my work commute. Also, is it coincidental that I'm afraid of witches, and the fact that I love the song by Prince, the one where he sings about kisses, and I love woodland creatures just washing my dishes? Okay, well, my cat licks my plate occasionally, which is the same, really. And I think to myself, after all this crap, that I at least deserve a very long nap. So to conclude, apples, Prince, fear of witches and sleeping, building blocks to a tale well worth repeating. What about the 7 short men, you ask? Well, I'm 5'11", so most men are up to that time. So it turns out I'm a real-life gigantic Snow White, with pasty skin and black hair like night. And what started out like a self-inflicted disaster turned out to be my happily ever after. And as part of my fairy tale chapter, I wish to impart my wisdom. Allergy sufferers, choose your own destiny. Tree nuts and apples can sometimes be frenemies. But maybe don't try to be a hero on your ride home. Just stop for a snack rather than yak on the roadside alone. And that, my friends, is the moral to my story. TTFN of the chess poetry.
I set up camp in concentration to ponder the greater good. And I thought, how many gangrenous ideas has the idealized version of myself mutilated my actual self with? You see, assumed even-handedness in tearing down structures of oppression, and I created my own lopsided theatre, where I fell into the audience of my own production and I was convinced it was all real. You see, if I genuinely do think that I am open-minded, then I'm in a toxic relationship with myself, abused by the comfort of always getting it right. You see, that feels better than the knowledge of knowing you can get 100% in your GCSEs, get every university degree, watch every movie, hear every song, read every book, but if you cling on tightly enough to what you want to believe, then your eyes will project pixels into paragraphs that would otherwise mismatch just enough to burn down your own support structures of oppression. You see, some people don't want help opening up their jaw. We like guidelines. Have you ever liked a politician's parlor tricks because your parents did, or because your parents didn't? Tory blue through and through, or Labour till I die. You lot are the reason why politicians are quite comfortable to betray us, because they know they can. If you have voted for the same party your whole life, but you have never read a manifesto, then you are the one who did not know what you were voting for. Now, I like to think of myself as open-minded, but now I think what I liked more was the prestige attached to that label. You see, how many people here would be happy to date somebody with terrible hygiene? If you do, I'm free at 7 o'clock tomorrow. But most of the time, our mouths close when something pops up we don't want to do. And I'm not saying you have to go do stuff you don't want to do, but I am saying open-minded has been dirty, watered down instead of disinfecting wounds. It's become the juice minus the Ray and nephew. And it would be better, I believe, if open-minded was something we said we are not, but are trying to achieve. Because most people are like my grandmother's cats, where they are open to biting anyone, but they will only eat, and I quote, one damn brand of food, end quote. So, unless your experience is equal to that due from a bet that you lose, then we are just saying doing stuff we don't mind is some kind of a virtue. Thank you very much.
If I'm honest, I am a man. I am a man made up of a million different ideals, opinions, and perceptions that are not mine. I am functional, able-bodied, and educated, which makes me the perfect worker, ripe for the picking, packaging, and putting into the fruit bowl of society. I am an outfit stitched together by brown children from Bangladesh over 5,000 miles away, and then sold to me by an all-seeing algorithm on ASOS's Instagram. The irony is that I could have been one of those kids had my parents not left for this country. I did not just inherit my parents' genes, I was also handed down my mother's anxiety and my father's passivity. My cells are populated with figures of debt, price tags of obligation, and overdue payments that may at any moment burst out from their neat holding pens. I am shaped by the crowded house that kept my less lucrative passions contained until the juices ran and dried into hard vocational skills that shape the brown peg for a racist white hole. I'm soon to be a Netflix film starring Riz Ahmed, as apparently he's the only brown actor ever. He looks nothing like me. Merely an airbrushed representation painted onto a tiny menu. I look at childhood photos of myself from when I was wheat before the harvest, raw material before being touched by mechanical ideals, opinions, and perceptions, and internally, I scream at the child to take off on his tricycle, but I dare not let the words leave my mouth. If I'm honest, I am a man, functional, able-bodied, and educated. My parents brought me over to this country to be a brown peg. At least my peg is a doctor. At least my peg is a lawyer. At least my peg is a mortgage. At least my peg is a Mercedes. If I'm honest, I am not honest. One day I dreamt that the little boy I saw in my photos talked back to me like he was afraid, riding away on his bike saying, "You're not me, you're not me, you're not me," in a voice of dashed hope. If I'm honest, I haven't been me in years. If I'm honest, I am a man who will never be the juice of an orange, just the bitter peel that keeps the juice inside. Frank Sinatra said, "That's life." Muhammad Ali said, "Don't count the days," and Riz Ahmed will win an Oscar for playing me in a film one day. When I am old, I will watch it and wonder why they chose him to play me when I couldn't even successfully play myself. Wow. Thank you! But the most important thing is she's here to give you a set tonight, so put your hands together.
Phenomenal host. I feel like I'm always on such a high after I come to off the chest nights, and it's so wonderful being here. I'm going to read you a bunch of different poems today, and I'm going to start off with this one, which is called Anti-Manifesto, and it's for all the people who've ever come up to me and said, "Why do you always have to write about women?" This is my response. Stop writing about women. Stop writing about breasts and motherhood. Stop writing about rage and trauma and decades of migrations. Stop telling the story of how your ancestors barricaded their bodies with glass. Stop writing about girls who marry at dawn and are raped by midday. Stop finding dimensions to silence. Stop writing about the ritual of prayer, the endlessness of hollow chants. I'm tired of your daily rants. I'm tired of this bare-chested verse, this poem stripped even of its line. Just write me some love so I can reminisce. So I wrote him blank verse. I gave him a lake for a child. I poured him a sea on a shallow bank. I cancelled out darkness, so eyes had nothing to fear. I extinguished his mother even. Then he found he himself was unformed, not human anymore, nor animate, not even a word. Thank you. With a little bit of a tribute to the most amazing woman in my life, and the first one is for my grandmother, and this is called Wedding Portrait. And my grandmother had an arranged marriage, and above her bed in Bangalore there's this portrait of her and my grandfather on their wedding day, and I always found it really weird because they're not smiling, they're just looking really, really serious. So I thought I'd write a poem about it. Wedding Portrait. Oh Nani, where are you looking in that red sari gone brown through the slippage of paint left out, rusty apple-coloured? Queens in our English art galleries don't look down. His gaze preens like that peacock in the Jaipur mess, commanding salute, hand hoisted as if already patting the white boys' heads in Merton Park, calling them son. How do you do, son? Tell me, which way is the metro station? Why don't you bring a girl close to your chest and call her daughter? Oh Nani, won't you tell me you loved? Tell me you loved equally. Tell me there were no burnt rotis on your dinner plate. I wish you'd open your mouth so I could evaluate the state of your teeth. I wonder if your lips still smell of betel leaf. A picture like this, with eyes off gaze, mouths out of touch, would be the third, fourth, or fifth we'd take and then later discard. Oh Nani, where is your adolescent smile gone? Where will mine go? Where will I look on my wedding day? And this one is about my mother and her marriage, and I went to a poetry workshop last Christmas where the facilitator said, think of a really interesting music concert you went to and write about it. And so I thought about the time where I went with my mum to watch Kylie Minogue, which was really random, super random. And I imagined what would happen if Kylie Minogue came and met my mum. So this is that poem. And it will feature a little bit of me singing badly at the end, so don't judge. High tide. Kylie Minogue is in my mother's bedroom. They're both trying on her clothes. Mum says, "You look nice in this embroidered sari." Reaches for her casket of gold. Kylie laughs, picks out Mum's floor-length gown instead, the only one she owns. On Minogue, it trails like a wedding dress. So, Kylie Minogue is short, Mum thinks. By the mirrors, they are trying to remove the age from their skin, bandaging their cheeks. Kylie tries on Mum's bright pink lip, the one she wore last year hosting a party for Dad, daring herself to breathe in a tight slit skirt, a burgundy blouse. "How do I look?" she said to Dad, flickering her eyes like a cigarette lighter. Dad looked at his phone instead, thumb like wobbling jelly. Downstairs, the guests hid behind plant pots and sofas, and the table spread its legs out. "How do you keep yourself so young?" Mum asks Kylie, as she reveals her final look, taping 2 dictionaries to her feet for extra height. "I think you know," Kylie sings, chiggy-wigging, out of the bathroom, out of my mother's room, out of the front door, while Mum takes a final look at the mirror and says, "La la la, la 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 la." Thank you. A little bit. Ifty actually set me up really well with his poem, and I've always thought a lot about my own brown privilege, and it's something we don't often talk about, and so this poem is about that. Never have I ever seen a coup, or done a bomb drill in school. I do not look at the sky expecting bullets. I do not look at the sky expecting floods. I am from a mild climate, a family only displaced by choice. Too far west to be partitioned, too far east to be partitioned twice. In school, they ask us to find letters our grandparents wrote during war. I ask them, what war? For my grandfather has only ever built site plans for civilian buildings and army messes. He has only ever been to the stills of Ladakh and found Shri, which is to say Lakshmi, which is to say blessing. There is a violence we carry, but it does not growl like a machine gun or burst like a firework. We too are strangers in this narrative, and yet my brothers are picked out as terrorists. My sisters are daughters of exiled fathers. Never have I ever gone to a refugee camp in Bangladesh or hidden in a neighbor's house in Baghdad. There are many shades of brown, and I am a privileged one. Remember this when you pity me. I too have never tasted the rage of true grief. I too have never watched my country blow apart. Thank you. Does anyone know what a ghazal is?
Yeah.
Yes. So a ghazal is a poem from my part of the world, and a lot of the world actually, where the final word of each couplet is repeated. I'm going to try out something. This is the first time I'm performing this poem. I'm going to try out something with this audience. So when I do this, can you all say the word after me? So the word is Angrez, and that means English. So Angrez, Good. And the second part of the poem, the word that repeats is Urdu, so I will set that up for you. So you have to remember Angrez and Urdu. And when I do this, please repeat after me. Perfect. So my mother tongue is Hindi and English, and I wanted to write a poem called Ghazal to My Other Tongues. Ghazal to My Other Tongues. Not my mother, nor my heart, Angrez. Just the muffled medium of my art, Angrez. You, child of stubborn parents, you, migrant, if they ask, don't confess, say your part, Angrez. Nana says, to fight in languages not ours is bevakoof. What vocabularies can justify this Lent, Angrez? Where the histories begin and time, even patriots will forgive. For all whose rich and destined smarts, Angrez. What's your luck? You, who meant to mark this word, cannot shake this word, must depart, Angrez. 2. O modulated Persian, daughter of Arabic, Urdu. Sister of Kashmiri, Punjabi and Pashto, Urdu. O mirror who flirts like a thief and lies like a poet, who treks across mountains only to announce itself in war, Urdu. O nomad of Delhi, mongrel of the north, eavesdropper on the local rail from Lucknow to Lahore, Urdu. O Hindustani and Afghani, O Pakistani, O curly-haired worshipper who writes of God in gold, Urdu. O Shairi, O Ghazal, O wandering Nazm, give me a voice to translate, a throat to restore, Urdu. Thank you. First poems that I performed, and when I was growing up I had a best friend who was Pakistani, and I always used to wonder why our countries were so divided, so I wrote this poem for her, and it's called Partition. Because they scored a bloodline up our mother's spine, and because you terracotta cup your hands when you pray, and because my father turned yours out before he left her, and because you call your auntie Khala, not Mosi, and because your brother blames me, and because we were never in the same relay race in sports day, and because my nanny tries to hide the burn tears in her bed sheets, and because it took them 2 years to process your visit visa, and because our mother's dead now, you are not my sister. And this penultimate poem is quite a recent one, and I wanted to write it, and it was on a date I went on with an engineer, which was unusual. And it was really interesting because he asked me what a poem was, and I just thought that was such an interesting question. Like, no one's ever thought, to ask me, what is a poem? How would you define it? And it was the time that there was a lot of violence going on in Kashmir as well, and his views were very problematic. So I wrote this poem called To the Date Who Asks Me What a Poem Is. We are on the top of a shallow hill. On our right, the sinking sun. Behind us, Battersea's 4 Buddhas. I say, a poem is about feeling. It is a unit of text that, in existing in its singular form, makes you quiver. We laugh, chat about how strange this is. Of course, the white woman on yoga mats block our view. This cannot compare to Thailand, to Vietnam, where he's been before. He says, what if I rip a page out of a novel? Would that be a poem? Later, We talk of Kashmir, the state that never made its mind up, the sympathy of the West, the gosh, I feel so sorry for your people. Yes, I say, it could be if read that way. He shows me a drawing of a never-ending spiral, both the inside and the outside of an art gallery, like a patient whose guts are on display. This is the art I like, he says, geometric, regular. We talk of the complexity of the situation, how no one pulled their armies out. I say a poem relies on some sort of strategy. Within the seams there is craft, there is the steady march of meter, there is the opportune placement of a line break. He still doesn't get it. He says, I don't like art with no rules. He says, obviously I don't agree with the internet being cut off. Obviously I still believe in freedom of speech. I say a poem is the most efficient art form. And with that, he pictures a machine gun. I say, you should read it. I promise. It has taken me 2 decades to understand. It has taken me my life. And with that, he thanks me for my time. Thank you. This one I actually wrote today, so it's brand new. And I thought it's a very short one, and I wanted to, on the themes of all my poems, I don't know if many of you know, but the Indian government is currently committing practically economic genocide against Muslims in India, and I wanted to write about that. So this is my poem to the Indian government. Sir, when you tell her to remove your heads... Sorry, I'm going to start again. New poem. Sir, when you tell her to remove her headscarf, you strip me too. Sir, when you tell poor butchers they can no longer sell beef, you starve me too. Sir, when you shut down loudspeakers at mosques just because, you silence me too. Sir, when you vandalize toy vendors outside a Hindu temple, you rob my child too. Catch the sounds of me and my full-throated brothers and sisters. Don't mistake our knees on the ground as begging. Sir, when you carve their names out of history in the name of religion, and then call for us in the name of country, do not be alarmed by the resounding silence. For I am a wholehearted Hindu, but this is not my religion. And I am a proud patriot, but this is not my country.
Europa, my skin is stretched from the frozen earth to the square of the endless sun. Again, you sent me flying from the smoke. It's too cold and it's easier in Monterey in the 50s as in now. You've given me nothing and I've taken everything and I've got so much. I'm quite resourceful. Europa, I love your orange tenement blocks. Europa, I love your orange window light. I can look in them all day and I see an idea and an omelette and it's happy to see me, and the streets push us up close together like that, and a bluebird sings into the dawn and it never stops by the bay. Europa, don't pretend you can't see I'm handsome. Is it because I play with your daughters? Handsomeness is one of my resources. What do you expect, Europa? I can see the sea. I've got toys, I'm so distracted. I can write my name on the walls with my friends and it's like I was 5 all over again, and it's sad every scrap of space a void. Really, you should be offering more walls. You can put something inside walls, we can put something outside. We all need to live somewhere. I live in a Bauhaus. The walls are made of wet paper and the floor is itchy. We've got cats and dudes on the corner. Sometimes I get real fed up. I'm not tired of teaching your children, but your children are tired. I won't be a policeman, not even to steal a spot, or it's a good thing. Europa, You nailed Cypras to the cross, but I'm Spartacus. I'm finding it hard to see how it can be a good thing. How can you hate a boy who draws birds in the nighttime moonshine? It's not good enough. We're not going to take it much longer. And then it'll be you addressing us. What language will you speak when you finally open that jaw? Save the French authors, take a boatload of subterraneans and put them up in the public parks. Put up Durruti's column salute in beautiful square. Take home the tall puddle martyrs. Reinvent all curiosity, or do the same thing you did to my people all that time ago. Europa? I could get in and out of cars all day long and the conversation is flowing and I feel like I'm really the king holding court over Europa, Europa. It's impossible here. Your seasons are always changing and they're getting quicker each full happiness. I'm forgetting what it's like in the dark. We need to marry space and emotion. A kaleidoscope of meat spinning until it's finally spun, and then we'll see the edge of the seas. Eyes of old gold pour into mine. Europa, we're more generous than you are, even after watching your TV. We're the beta fight, really. The east goes south, and the south goes north, and the north goes west, and the west coughs up the rest. Really, it's not good enough. I'm tired of saying goodbyes, tired of long shadows cast on autopistas and motorways, tired of car rears that look like faces ready to eat me up. Europa, I'm a golfer. I love any chance I can get. You should have seen Jerry's in the streets. I'm a sober man, but I know a wild few. I'll party any chance I can get. I don't know how to slow down. Europa, I'm slowing down right now. Some places are like a prison, and it's like you're offering no way out to the millions of lost boys and girls, and by the end of this, a zoo will be the only place that can hold us. Europa, the rest of the world is falling over the horizon. They can't see it coming. Europa, what's over the horizon? You better hope there's something in it for us. Thank you.
And this is called Lonely Heart. If you could maybe make a drum roll with your feet, that'd be really cool. Desperate singleton seeks their own personal son-dog, man-dog, must want a car with a car, must want pigs, not kids, one day, non-negotiable. I would want to take you to a gay bar, and to reach witching hour, just talking about nothing but Jesus and gin. When I ask you to pull my finger, which I will do so, you will laugh like a loon on loons precisely because I am so fucking funny. You will make me feel so fucking funny and peel me like a big steamed tomato in a sexy way, obviously. And we'll gossip the day away like parrots or goats drinking cans of cheap Polish lager under oak trees as the band plays on and on and on and on. Thank you. I'm just going to quick one, there's a time thing. This one is, I'm not religious, but these are my saints. This is called Canonize This Ass. I feel like I should have said, canonize this ass. Where you been, man? You're looking well anyways, the bus driver says to the homeless man with sores on his face. They are my saints. Danger, men at work, share lighters on cold concrete steps. They are my saints. Mike Tyson and all his pigeons, they are my saints too. All the little girls in dirty tights outside the ballet studio in Unit 3 of the industrial estate are my saints. The mums chewing polystyrene coffee and spraying glitter onto donut buns, they are my saints. Every foster parent is a saint. Harry Fairchild is my saint. And all the McDonald's workers are my saints. The onion farmers and the baristas and all my adopted big brothers, both alive and dead, the non-binary soldiers who spend hours unpicking the nets we've tangled ourselves in. They are my saints too. The pub landlady, the whole of the North, Shrek, Greta Thunberg, Danny Dyer, Paul Robeson, they are all my saints. The tattoo daddies and the kids in puffer jackets in midsummer, the Rottweilers, the protective dyke mamas, every soul lost in the Grey Channel are my saints. October Rain is my saint. In Peckham, old men played backgammon on orange crates. Oh, my holy hallucinations, my polytheistic lucky charms, you squat in the corners of my heart and ward off the incoming dark. Thank you.
How do I wear the world? I have to carry myself first. I cannot pose for photos, but I can walk to make you look at me. I can walk to make what I'm wearing the second thing you see, even if it happens to be the world. But your question, how do I wear the world? I hate to say it, but I wear it sunset side out. I wish I could say sunrises, The poetry of a sun always rising. I need hope, not death, but I'm not the one who put them at odds. And sunsets, they sound better in Italian. And sunsets go better with my complexion. The world falls around itself, and I fall around with the world on my shoulders. I don't think I could make you love me anymore, but I think I could make you look at me. And the world balances my posture after having ruined it in the first place. The world keeps falling, the sun keeps rising. Il tramonto non finisce mai. How do I wear the world? Really fucking well, thank you.
Heart peeled open like a tin can, split my finger open on the viscose fibres of your gaslit love. We were in heat. Now, every time I dare to go down there, re-explore, replay our wordplay like scratches etched on our favourite CD, I feel foolish, polished lines just stuck on repeat. You see, I realise you never did see me, just what I could lexically provide for your ego, and you know I'm still convinced it's not quite your fault. Now those words hang stale and sour in the air, strange fruit. I used to dream of us on holiday. I only think of you sometimes, in the pressed moments of silence, the beat of time before the ache of sleep licks sleep into my eyelids, like wrapping chewed lips around the syllables of your name, foreign tongue. And things unspoken and words hammered out in rage and clumsy reconciliation, fumbling for the curve of your spine, anything. Any fragment of evidence that I could leave to prove that you were once mine, and too much otherness to digest. I'll never rest. Just think of me sometimes.
This is called democracy. Democracy. Yeah. Trigger warning if you believe in the British political system. Democracy is a funny word. We don't know what it means. We think we're living in it, but it isn't as it seems. Decision we are given is elect the one who leads, and once we vote them into power, then they just do as they please. It's just a crazy demonstration of accumulating greed. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. You do as I say and I'll do as I please, because it's one rule for you, but it's lawless for me. No majority decisions, no accountability. Tick a box every 5 years and then you leave. False promises, no consequences seen. The lies are nothing new, but the people still believe what they're told to, when they're told to, like it's the whole truth, like there's no hidden motive or agenda to control you. Offer you an inch in exchange for a mile, making millions from lobbying, no wonder they're all smart. They've hijacked the airwaves with outrage and slander. Fingers on the triggers hold us hostage in our anger, tell opinions of their visions, but a question they won't answer, because they're reading off a script what their employers' demands are. Democracy's a funny word, we don't know what it means. We think we're living in it, but it isn't as it seems. Decision we are given is elect the one who leads, and once they vote them into power, then they just do as they please. Democracy's a funny word, we don't know what it means. If you think you're living in it, then you're living in a dream. Pirates in our parliament, plundering the seas, and they've commandeered the ship to dictate their terms of peace. Chinese whispers, the truth keeps on changing. What a better way to hypnotize a population. Supply them with confusion, control the information, might have started off in China, now a British iteration. Look beneath the surface to see what they're trying to do. Protest made illegal, human rights being diffused, but the wrongs becoming regal. Andrew sweating in a booth, and he said he doesn't sweat, but I don't see that on the news. Distraction pieces rarely cover real stories. And most of the media just a mouthpiece for the Tories, so when they're bashing Boris, even though you might support it, just remember who's behind it in their previous reporting. Question everything. Always ask why. Which story's being hidden, which is in the public eye. Is there an agenda? Is it factual lies or more never-ending worries spread like butter on a knife? Democracy's a funny word, we don't know what it means. We think we're living in it, but it isn't as it seems. Decision we are given is elect the one who leads, and once we vote them into power, then they just do as they please. Democracy's a funny word, we don't know what it means. If you think you're living in it, then you're living in a dream. Pirates in our parliament plundering the seas, and they've commandeered the ship to dictate their terms of peace. But there's no other options. What do you have in mind? The rebuttal that will bring around the end of our times. Imagine a world where people had an equal say, and decisions are made in a democratic way, where the people vote, the people choose, not the politicians, but the policies and rules, where majority is law, not a minority of fools who have occupied the commons with the police in their coup. It's not left v right, it's us v them. The people with the power v the people with the pen. The ones who make the rules versus those who vote them in. Those outside the box versus those who tick within. Has the world gone crazy, or did I just grow up? Liars leading lemmings, and we're happy to jump. Because we voted in a lemon who promised us lemonade, but all he's really doing is squeezing lemon on our face.
It is none other than Woodzy!
Thank you very much. How are we doing, everyone? We good? Yeah! Amazing. I'm going to get straight into it so I can get through as many poems as I can before I have to run to get my last train. I am Woodzy. I am Shaheed. I am broken pen. I am all of the things that will be said. I am Jake. Just Jake. Jealous jester's judge. Don't jeopardize justice. Just drink jugs of juice, jingling jewellery. When you jump the jumble sells jackpot, I might break my pen from this barring. Tell them jam, like Penn said they're jarring. I'm not in jail and I got a job, so should I jump for joy? Only jump for the drunk of Nurse Joy. Knock knock, they wanna kiss kings. Take a break from the Kit Kats and kids' kin. Kill Krillin with kindness. I'm your knight in the night and my kingdom is kind. Ish. Live. Live for lyrics. Loosen my limits, have love for my living. Lies are for losers, but I lie. My lighter won't lie. Is this the lifeline of the limelight? Don't take the L. Live life in my lane. Tried to get laid, but I'm too lame. Listen, Lilo. Let's go leisure lakes on a lilo, liaise with lions and learn lessons. Multiply money makes more mischief. Makeshift mazes amaze the main matrix, me, myself and more. Mesmerized by memorized messages, mermaids manipulate a man's memory. Masterfully. Made more muggles, misplaced magic than Merlin, merging memories in his masterpiece. The 90s. Nostalgia. Neverland and Nickelodeon. Not now, not never. Nearby nerves negatively neglect nerves. Nevertheless, newcomers are normally numb to the numerous nurture and nature of nutrition. Oh, okay. Outstanding observation. Object obligation. Obsessive omens obey only one. Opposites offer other opportunities. Orbit the earth. Orchestrate my offspring to the orchards of Oxford. Plant your palms and plants in the past. Proceed the process, the progress and past possession. Misplaced possession possesses a person's passion. Personally, I prefer perfection personified, but I perfected procrastination so perfectly, but still painted and performed my paradise. Paralyzed parasites are parallel patterns to a panther's pride. I practice my precise precision and my pen on the pad. There's peace in my path. I paint with the ultimate pen. My penultimate poem will plead people to play peacefully, play Pokemon and pick paragraphs that piece together peachily. Quiet. Don't quit. Quench the queens first, Q4 quick Quidditch. Let's quash quarrels quickly this quarter. If you quiz me on my favourite quote, there is quality and quantity in my quill. Quadrilateral rectangular revenues, revisit the reservoir. Real recognise real, reading is relaxing. Recording records for radio. Remember Team Rocket? Represent the revolution. I have the secret sauce supplied by SpongeBob SquarePants. Short eating shorts, acting shirty. I sadly suffer severe suffering succotash. I stole the silver surfer's surfboard, search for the solar system's first source. Succeeded somewhere in Surrey in summer 16. Sweet and sour serenity, surrendering senselessly. I put the sensate in sensational. Say the things we say them all. Trust your thoughts. Treat your teachers. Trick your teasers. Tread on the toes of the top trenders. The tender touch of your temple translates into telepathic thunder. Under umbrellas. You're unfit to understand the underworld. Unique unicorns are unusually unaware of the unusual unawareness of the universe. Various vibrations vanish in the vault. Vultures violate violins violently. I venture to the vast valleys and vessels of the verb. They will view my vigorous verses of victory. On the verge of being verified. Wasting wishes on a wishing well when I wish I could have wished you well. Walk on water. Withdraw wisdom. Wizards of Waverley Place was with Wicked. Wicked Witch in the West was worried when wet. Who, where, why, when, and what? X marks the spot. In Roman times, your X would have been a 10. You broke up last Xmas. You don't want to think about those times. No more hugs, no more kisses, because your ex was a oh. You yelled, yes, young'un, yelp. You are yesterday's youth. You yo-yoed from Yu-Gi-Oh! To the yellow pages. I am the zigzag of Zelda lifting the Z-sword mixed with Emperor Zerg, Zinedine Zidane, and the Zapdos' zest. Can someone please tell I am Shahid that my pen is broken and I need a rest? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's so nice when you're in a room and there's other poets and you get that. It's so nice. It's like a thing from poets. It's how you know you did a good line. You go. So if you hear anything you like, feel free to go. Actually, can we get everyone to go on 3? We'll go 1, 2, 3. We'll go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nice. Okay. This poem I wrote in the first lockdown. I was sent a prompt, which was when the West went to rehab. So that's the title of this piece. I hope you enjoy it. When the West went to rehab, the tests all got revamped. The celebs had a relapse and the rest they can see that, so please clap. Clap for Mother Nature as she enters her recovery. Stand up for the wonder that comes after the worrying. Humans are going into isolation, hibernation, defined by enough lies that could hide a nation. Train my track so much I could buy the station, standing stationary with my stationery. They'll say I'm ready on the day they get me. It's like supermarkets looking their super. It's like Thanos snapped all the Ubers. Can't go to the pub, so you turn my house to a wine house and ask Amy about the future. Look, I heard him say that nothing's ever promised tomorrow today. They cut circulation off, now we suffer in vain. They'd be watching the throne but can't weather the rain. I woke up saying I feel better today, ahead of the game. Oh, but of course, the government went and put us all on pause. Families dying whilst the Z's on tour. They cancelled jobs and they cancelled sport. They could cancel my life and they could cancel yours. Just at the push of a button. They can destroy countries like anthills and wonder why we're bugging. Human race, yeah, they got us running up walls inside of our minds like life is a game show and to save my life, please add 5, vote for me. COVID-19's like it's a no from me. Boulevard of broken dreams on these lonely streets. And I pray for greener days, where American idiots don't lead the race of humanity, managing all of us panicking, queuing like mannequins, go to the store and then back again, don't know what they got in store for the masses, and I just want to breathe without worrying about someone that I care about's next breath. It's like my GPS is saying the valley of the shadow of death is on your next left. You can't turn back now. This is where you turn. Maybe this really is a dead end. I didn't audition to be on an episode of Black Mirror, so I'm kind of confused. I wouldn't have done this role even if they paid me 5 Gs. I don't know about you. Thank you very much. Okay, so this next piece I did at the end of last year, I was asked to do a TEDx talk and do something about global warming. So I did a little bit more research into it. And if you want to go and find the piece, it's on TEDx's channel, so please go and check it out afterwards. But yeah, this piece is called Dear Mum. Dear Mum, I'm writing again. Here's a letter to you and a line for a friend. We've been trying to be better, but it all feels a little too late now. The earth shouldn't have to quake before the human race has a breakdown. Not all of mankind are kind men. I've spent my greatest moments walking in your garden. Thoughts tangled talking to trees like I'm Tarzan. Fasten your seatbelts. Turn off your engines as penguins see seatmelt. This is not a happy feat or the joke on the back of a rapper. It's a little bit of hope despite the lack of a ladder. We try to climb it as climate changes. We might just find it's more than time we wasted. You can't just destroy your home and hope to escape its self-destruction. We need help to function. Change our ways for today's adjustments. I just meant to check in and see how you're doing. See, I am just one of your billion children. So tell us, Gaia, Mother Earth, as we might not listen to others' words, I hope our sisters and brothers and others learn to take care of the world and what you have birthed. Seeds that were planted are now trees that have branches. Take away E and H as earth is where art is. Rearrange the letters as home is where the heart is. You are the artist. We are just creatures created on your canvas. A university, we are on your campus. Humans belong in nature, so why is it considered human nature to not take care of our planet? How much longer can we manage? Maybe 5p is too much to pay for all of our baggage. So let me tell you what we need. Oxygen from trees, we need that to breathe. We've already lost 80% of our forest. Do we all lack knowledge? Once we run out of air, maybe then we'll acknowledge that we are all trees. You and them and us and me. We are the stream leading to the sea. Streaming our songs, singing of our root and our roots and where we belong. Do not let your roots define your root. You should use your roots to find your root. So put down your map. Turn off your phone. Open your heart, but keep your eyes closed. Breathe that in. Feel that power. You are that flower that bloomed in the dark room. You are that poetic justice. Just trust it and love yourself. Once you take in that water and sunlight, you'll blossom. No forbidden fruits or forgotten truths. You are that garden of reason, so rise up. Bask in the sun's rays. Plant those seeds of belief that you can believe in and be proud of one day and for all days thereafter. From the roots of love to a gathering of flowers. We always say give people their flowers. On Mother's Day we give flowers. As you spin so gracefully on your axis, we practice these actions to stay balanced. You bring us day and night, rain and light, a way of life, learning lessons, loose lips, let lullabies flutter by like butterflies. I wonder why we won't worry when wounding our world. I don't mean to sound bitter, but I feel like if Mother Nature had Twitter, she would be like, who on earth are you acting, bro? Save it. I wish we could all see the world through the eyes of Sir David Attenborough. You would never want to cause harm to your mother. So why do we not seem to care as we see her suffer? I said, I'm sorry, Mama. We never meant to hurt you. We never meant to make you cry, but tonight we're cleaning out the whole world. Thank you very much. One more poem, and then I'm going to do something with music afterwards, but I don't know which poem to do. I'm stuck between two. One is about growing up in the 90s. Yeah. And the other one is when the person you're dating can't decide where they would like to go and eat. So the game up to 90s is going to be number one, so make noise for number one. Yeah! And date night is going to be number two. Date night. White guys. Looks like it's date night. So this is all about when the person you're dating can't make up their mind where they would like to go and eat for dinner. And you're like, yeah, so I'd really like to take you here. And she's like, yeah, I'm not feeling that. And you're like, okay, so where would you like to go? And she's like, I don't know, baby, you think. You're like, okay, so let's go eat here. She's like, I'm not feeling that either. And you see, I offered to take Frankie and Benny's, Leon, even stay at home with some Ben and Jerry's, but she still didn't want Five Guys. I had to do my homework online because what she wants to eat isn't bite size. She ain't just a snack, she's the home meal. Pleasing her's my bread and butter. She's more than just buff-a. I must say, give her whatever filling she wants more than 6 inches when I take her to Subway. I don't eat oysters, but I tap in. We don't do raw meats one wrapping, no, but honestly, a piece of her ex presses my buttons. It's all gravy if she's roasting. Once I pass nips, best believe she'll get that stuffing. Because she's super bad. But loving. We don't drive through. We don't pick up. She said her friend wants delivery and sold the you just about the syrup. I'll raise the stake when we meet up. So high on life they can't reach us. She says for every season, I'm a jerk. Calls me all the time. Says, when am I going to learn? Irie said, look, we can go Leon, have some French fries. If you can't finish your food, we'll bag it before we roll. Don't forget that sometimes we like to eat our pizza cold. Let me chip in. I'll give you my jacket, see I'm being cheesy. I mean, we were in a spaghetti and saucy just to pass the time. Why don't we just get a kebab in a cab and go back to mine? She thought a kebab in a cab meant Uber Eats, but that doesn't matter because she's super sweet and I'm gooey eating Sundays on a Sunday. Maybe someday we'll do it. But how about we just go home and I cook us up a specialty? Because you got all the ingredients for the perfect recipe. I guess it's meant to be. Let's get cooking. See, that's dinner sorted, but what about a movie? Because since they got rid of Orange Wednesdays, it's not that appealing. You know what I'm feeling? To me, the only meerkat in a movie should be called Timon. I didn't bring you here just for you to moan about getting mixed popcorn because I like sweet and you like salted. After that and a large Tango Ice Blaster, we both feel bloated and the trailers have only just started, so we marvel at the screen and who the cast is. It's freezing in here, I should have put on some warmer clothes, or is that just a universal thing in cinemas? Maybe I should Warner Bros. Or is that just how the dream works? See, I'm furious, I should think fast. I thought she was taking the mickey when she looked at my pics. Whose Disney version of you when you were 11? She found it on the net flicking through my pictures. I guess stranger things have happened. Imagine, keep my game face for your throne because you are the mother of dragons, my Khaleesi. Perfection portrayed in the portraits and paintings like they were painted by Da Vinci, but there is no code to your safe. No yellow brick road and no maze, no scream if you saw the mask with no face. I don't mean to rush hours ahead like I'm going back to the future, but ever since we went to Greece, I felt like watching Star Wars was our Space Jam. If we're talking about the L word, maybe I should order the ring. Invite my fellowship to the two towers and our ceremony will feel like the return of the king. But before that, I need to step up. Take you on this date night so you can dress up. Feel the way that I see you on an everyday basis. Perfection personified like every letter printed on the lines of these pages. If you bow, wow. It's just like the mic on the stage is for me. My voice. Suggestions for you. My choice. So hurry up and pick what you want to eat. Thank you very much. This is going to be the last thing I do for you guys. I want to say firstly, massive big up to Off the Chest for booking me. So can we make a round of applause? If you want to find more about what I do, my Instagram is @WoodzyGram. I'd say come and talk to me afterwards, but I'm really going to have to run to get my last train after this. But this is one of the first performances on my next single, which is called Peace Out, Peace In. Of my new project, which is coming out hopefully in August. I'm not going to put a date on because I don't want to be pressured into putting it out straight away. But yeah, so DJ, if we can play the track, this is called Peace Out, Peace In. I hope you enjoy it. Can we get it up a little bit if possible? Perfect. Hey! Up a little bit more if possible. There you go, that's good. Hey! Yo! Check it. Look. Learning on my journey, I've been searching for the reasons, even on my own. Seeing where I'm going. Leaving all your demons, finding meaning on my soul. Searching for serenity, swerving people's energy. That was just a phase, been erased from my memory. Yeah, I think it's evident. Intelligence is just about as relevant as going to an elephant. Let me not address that. We don't want no setbacks. You don't want a couple goals, still don't get no text back. Yeah, I think I get it though. You don't want to get involved. Missing 5, just that. Keep us focused at a time. Peace out, peace in. Felt without I'm breathing. Peace out, peace in. Let me hear you scream it. Peace out, peace in. Felt without I'm breathing. Peace out, peace in. Hey, let me hear you scream it. Hey. Look, I've been searching for a piece of peace, feeling I can need to breathe. This is where I need to be, open as I need to see. Need to see the trees and tranquility. I've been searching for it in me, manifest your blessings. Listen to the message, once you find yourself, I can show you where the rest is. I took the L from the world to focus on the words of the verse and rehearse the words until it's done. Peace out, peace in. Thankful that I'm breathing. Peace out, peace in. Let me hear you scream it. Peace out, peace in. Thankful that I'm breathing. Hey, peace out, peace in. okay? I took the L from the road to focus on the word and the verse and rehearse the words until it's learnt now. Never burnt out, put in work until it works out. Still I'm connected to the earth now. Put yourself first when your body speaks, listen. I'm part of the verge and it's poetry and rhythm. Free flow and wisdom, we show resistance. We show people, we go the distance. Free flow and wisdom, we show resistance. We flow, we go the distance. Free flow and wisdom, we show resistance. We flow, we go the distance. Hey, peace out, peace in. Careful that I'm breathing. Peace out, peace in. Let me hear you scream it. Peace out, peace in. Careful that I'm breathing. Hey, peace out, peace in. Let me hear you scream it. Hey, peace out, peace in. Careful that I'm breathing. Peace out, peace in. Let me hear you scream it. Peace out, peace in. Careful that I'm breathing. Hey, peace out, peace in. Hey, let me hear you scream it. Off the jazz, thank you so much for having me. I've been Woodzy and Ankita. Thank you so much. Peace out, peace in.